This Wheatstone telegraph machine started a revolution 160 years ago. I'm Hugh Small. I've been researching and writing about that period of British history for 30 years. In this video, I want to show the Wheatstone machine from the inside. In future videos, I'll show how it enabled a political revolution in 1867. I'll link to some of my new videos explaining the causes of the revolution, particularly the disasters of the Crimean War and Florence Nightingale's campaign for political reform. I have a background in telegraph technology. 50 years ago, I helped to redesign one of the world's last telegraph networks. It was a cooperative venture between the world's airlines based in Paris. Here's the advert for the job and my business card after they hired me. Back in the 1970s, travellers relied on telegrams when reserving airline seats. This was a typical telegraph machine. It recorded a message on punched tape. The operator would cut the tape and take the message to another machine for onward transmission. My job was to design a computer network that would carry messages instantly from any travel agent to any airline reservation computer. It was the world's first commercial internet. When I retired from that job, I began a second career as a historian, concentrating on the politics of the mid-Victorian era. I tracked down the book of encrypted telegrams sent from London to Sebastopol during the Crimean War. No other historian had seen the short message, personally approved by Queen Victoria, that ordered a new military strategy. Disobedience to her orders is part of the story, which I'll put in another video. The discovery started me studying Victorian telegraph machines and researching their impact on society and politics. That's how I found the Wheatstone machine. Here's how it appeared on eBay. The seller didn't know what it was. It had belonged to an antiques dealer who kept no records. I'd never seen anything like it, but I guessed that slotted wheel was part of a paper tape reader. It turned out to be a very rare item, one of the very first Wheatstone automatic telegraph transmitters. A couple more pictures from eBay. It looked a bit distressed, but that dangling sprocket only needed pushing back in. It was the first model, unaltered, designed to be powered by a chain and weights like a grandfather clock. Most of them were later converted to use electric motors. I had to take it apart to get it running again. The only way to get something like this back together is to take plenty of photographs. The most challenging part of the conservation involved the rocker switch that creates the impulses on the telegraph line. The flexible trailing lead was broken, as you can see here. In 1867 they had insulated it with very fine thread wound round the conductor. I modernised it with a fine copper wire coated with plastic film. This is the rusty rocker switch and its broken connecting lead. There was space inside because the speed regulator was missing. I fitted a 6-volt 9600 RPM motor to drive the mechanism from the high-speed end of the gear train. This is how it looked after conservation. It's got a chain sprocket on the outside and another on the inside. Originally, an endless chain ran through the two holes under the exterior sprocket and re-entered inside to loop round the other sprocket and support the driving weight underneath on a pulley. You can see a similar arrangement in the video of my 1852 Crimean War telegraph machine in this channel. Here's a shot of the whole mechanism. A sprocket underneath a shelf at the top drives the perforated tape from right to left above the shelf. Two vertical rods, or peckers, probe for holes in the tape. By a delicate system of levers, they flip the rocker from one side of the jockey wheel to the other, making or breaking the electrical contacts according to where they find the holes. My replacement insulated wire can be seen at the bottom. If I hadn't seen this, I would never have believed it was possible to detect holes in punched paper tape at high speed using a mechanical device powered by a chain and weights like a grandfather clock. Professor Charles Wheatstone, who developed this extraordinary machine because he couldn't wait 100 years for us to invent the computer, must be given some credit for the political revolution that began on the day it went into service. But revolution had been germinating from seeds hidden a dozen years before in the soil of a remote corner of Russia. I mentioned earlier that Queen Victoria approved a telegraphic order to the High Command in Crimea, which was not obeyed. Both the aristocratic commander-in-chief and his second-in-command were aware of the order and agreed to act contrary to it. Under the Articles of War, disobedience by two or more serving soldiers acting in concert constitutes the capital crime of mutiny. Nobody was punished and the incident was officially kept secret, but enough people knew about it to ensure that the stranglehold of the inherited aristocracy on the British Constitution would have to end. The political opportunity arose a decade later, and Professor Wheatstone's machine emerged to ignite a peaceful revolution. I'll post an end screen here with a link so that you can see my next video about the mutiny that changed Britain forever. Thanks for watching.